If you like this video and want to see more, then please subscribe to the channel. So today is just a short video of how I protect the leather on my Jag. There are many products that you can use, but these are the ones that I choose. I'll show you what I achieve. One of the products I choose to use is the Automotive leather balm. But I also use a product called liquid leather. This is a product that does condition. It's not a top brand, but it does give that smell of leather back, and which is something that I like. Some people aren't too worried, but I do like the car to smell of leather, and with the car being 16 years old, the scent has reduced massively. So here I've got the two bits of trim that go down the side of the car, just above the rear seats. Neither of one have been cleaned for about a year or treated. As you can see, there are little bits of dirt on here, but in general they're not actually too bad. So the first thing I do, get a brush, and you get a mild pH neutral leather cleaner. Mine is in a spray, and just wet up the area. Next thing, you take your brush and you just agitate it. So that's now been cleaned all over. What I like to do is let it dwell just a little bit afterwards, but I don't want to let it dry. Now I'm doing it indoors today because it's very cold outside, but obviously if you're doing this in direct sunlight, you'll need to wash it off just a little bit quicker, just to stop it drying on the surface. So it's been sitting for a minute or so after I've agitated it, and you just take a damp microfiber cloth and you just clean away all the cleaner. As you can see, it's not too dirty, but this will just take up any of the dirt. Across that back edge, you can see that's completely clean now. I'm fortunate enough that the leather in the Jag is in very good condition, so therefore there's no repairs needed, but there are products that you can buy that fill in cracks. You can repair tears, and then you can just recolour small areas as well. Something that I am planning on having to go out later on in the year is recolouring some of the areas of the car. So I'll show you two areas that I do plan to recolour. Now this is the base of the rear seat, and I want to leave most of it all in black, but I'm thinking about maybe this area and maybe even that area too, just recolouring it into a light grey to give a two-tone effect. Also on the door card here, it's all in black, and I'm thinking maybe just this one panel in the centre here, choose a lighter colour, the same colour that I choose for the seat. So that's something I'll probably do in the summer. So that's been cleaned off and just waiting for it to dry. There's a couple of areas here, I don't know if it comes up on camera, that's still wet. I don't want to apply any protection until all the water has flashed off. The leather is mainly waterproof, but it's just the way that I would like to do it. I don't want to seal in any moisture that shouldn't be there. So the first thing I tend to do, I use this liquid leather. It's a conditioner. It does claim it's the only one that reinstates the smell of the finest quality traditional leather, but I know there's other products out there that do it. There's full instructions on the back of how to clean. They all work very similar. You should use a pH neutral product, just like I just have, to clean, and then the next step would be to use a conditioner and protector over the top. Now I do like to use the Automotive leather care balm as the finishing coat whenever I do this. I do actually like to do this twice a year, but reality is I do it every year, sometimes every 2 years, depending how much time I have. So you give the bottle a good shake, and what I like to use is an applicator, very similar to the sort of applicator you might put polish or a sealant onto a car. This does a very good job. So what I do, I tend to put a little bit onto the applicator, and I tend to just dab it down onto the panel and then use that as a pool to take from, and I just spread it out, make sure it's nice and even all the way over. As you can see, the colour changes. It's always good if you can turn the panel over so you've got the edges of the leather in there as well. Give them a good go. Obviously, if this is in the car, you won't be able to do this. What I have got is either side off the car, so you'll be able to see what the difference is at different stages. So this is the one I've treated with one coat. Now obviously this is going to soak in and it won't be as shiny afterwards. And that's the one that hasn't been treated at all. So I'm now going to let this dwell and soak in. If I was doing a bigger area of the car, you can carry on and continue with other panels while this dries. But I don't want to carry on with this one until we have a good comparison. So this is the seat that I did yesterday, and you can see the centre panels look really nice, but when you go onto the sides you can see here that it really is soaked in a lot. So what I tend to do is assume that that is just a little bit drier than the rest, so I'll give that another coat and hopefully that'll even it all up. But you'll find eventually this area here will tend to go back to a matte sort of finish, which is nicer, but this is still soaking in. It's the same with the seat base. I gave this another coat just a little while ago and you can see some areas that are still soaking in. But again, the areas there, I'm assuming that's probably a slightly different leather. So it's nice and dark. It's not soaking in quite as quickly. So again, this one I'll give you another coat, I think. Let's let that soak in and see what that looks like in a couple of hours. So now I'm going to give this what it's going to be, hopefully its third and final coat. See the difference between the two at the moment. But this third coat, I'm going to use the Automotive leather balm. Make sure it's all nice and even. There you go, done. What we'll do now, we'll revisit the seat where I gave a lot of this a second coat. As you can see now, it's an awful lot more even than it was before, so it certainly needed that extra coat. So this part's had quite a number of coats, and it's taken a long while to sink in. The last part is just to give it a buff up. You can see certain areas that are more shiny that haven't soaked in, but it just evens it up. Simple as that. I've already done it to this one. It wasn't sinking in the centre. You can see that side is a lot more shiny. So just buffed that up and it looks good.